Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. If you can't tell from the little bit of light coming through the top of the curtains there, and if you haven't looked outside yet today, it's sunny. Like, really sunny. I was just out in the kitchen and, I, it's like perfectly clear outside right now. It's crazy. It's definitely not a common sight this time of year. Anyway, let's start with our 500 millibar chart here. We do have this interesting little disturbance off to our west here, and that is going to continue to move and rotate around and kind of merge in with this other feature here and just become a pretty large scale trough. And this could potentially cause some problems for the East Coast here, uh, but it looks like for the most part its impacts may be offshore. But that is something we're just going to have to keep watching in case it becomes something significant that we have to mention for anyone who happens to be traveling or has family over there. For the meantime, though, it looks like things are going to be relatively calm here as we start to head into as we're heading into tomorrow morning. There is a pretty significant ridge kind of along this shape here, along this axis, and that is more than likely going to suppress rising motion. So we're finally going to be getting a sort of break from the precipitation here. And despite the fact that it's winter in Michigan, the clear skies are likely going to hang around, and not just for a few hours. It looks like skies should be mostly clear through tomorrow night, still into Sunday morning. This is 7 a.m. That ridge is still pretty much right overhead. Will it be warmer? No. I mean, it will be a little bit warmer than last night, but are we going to be looking at temperatures above freezing? Not even close. But at least we're not having precipitation falling on us while it's freezing. Now let's go a little bit lower down at the 850 millibar level. You can really start to see that trough take shape as we head into tonight to our south here. And then you can really see this ridge. It's kind of squished in here. Also, really, it starts really building in this afternoon, and it just slowly moves closer to our area through the night, into the day tomorrow, through the afternoon tomorrow, and it's a pretty slow mover. By Sunday morning, 7 a.m., it is pretty much directly overhead. Now, there is something to note, is that there is definitely a trough feature and a disturbance right behind this ridge, but with how slow moving this pattern is, it might still be a while before we start to feel the impacts of this. And when I say a while, I mean perhaps past Sunday and into Monday. It might be Monday that we start to feel this. So it looks like we're still going to have a couple days here of some pretty nice calm weather. Now, heading all the way down to the surface, we do have a area of high pressure currently off to our northwest that is going to dive and make its way down pretty far into the U.S. by tomorrow. By pretty much or late tomorrow morning. This, of course, is going to keep things cold around here, although it doesn't look like it gets too much colder for us. Excuse me. But I mean, places like Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, they're definitely looking like they're going to get colder than they typically do this time of year. I spent 4 years going to school in Oklahoma, and very rarely did it hit 10 degrees. So they're probably not going to enjoy that very much. And then, as expected, first of all, first thing I notice is, especially as we start to head into tomorrow afternoon, that low pressure system really kind of deepening really quickly off the coast here. Now, this does look like it should be far enough off the coast to have minimal impacts on the East Coast, but that thing deepens really fast. Like, that is, wow. That is something. That is definitely a nor'easter. Hopefully, again, it's one that is far enough away from the coast that it doesn't really have an impact. Second thing is you can really see how this area of high pressure, while its center is way down near Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, you know, there's relatively high pressure all the way from there up into Canada. So we are going to be under some higher pressure, which is of course going to aid in the nice clear conditions. But of course, we do have a low pressure system with that next approaching upper level trough off to our northwest here that will start to make its way towards the area as we go into Sunday morning. But again, it'll probably still be until about Monday before this starts to actually have an impact on our area. Maybe Sunday night, but more than likely Monday. Now let's take a little zoom in and take a look at our temperatures, just see exactly where they're supposed to be. It looks like today we're going to hang out in the low single digits, 12, 13 degrees. And this evening, we are going to get a little bit cold. It looks like our low temperature is going to be realized right around 7 p.m., which usually it's actually a little bit later. Usually you see your lows in the early morning hours, but besides the point, the lows look like they're going to be in the low single digits, maybe around 4 to 5 degrees. Well, I guess it's more mid single digits, but um, you get the point. It's not going to be warm. Although, yep, right here as we head into morning, this is 7 a.m., 8 a.m. It does get that cold again. We're pretty much right around the same temperature, 3 to 4 degrees, so maybe a little bit colder, just a tad, but it looks like those are going to be the coldest periods for now. And then tomorrow, we are still going to get back up in the double digits. It might be slightly warmer than today, maybe 14, 15 degrees. Not much of an improvement, but an improvement. And then tomorrow night looks like it is going to have a very similar low to tonight and into tomorrow morning, although it might be slightly colder. We do see some little pockets of 0 around here, just kind of spread about. So this is more than likely going to actually be closer to that lower single digits. We're talking like 2, 3 degrees. So this is definitely looking like it's going to be the coldest period in our forecast range here. Now let's take a look at that precipitation. I'm going to back up a little bit. Yeah, so there is still a little bit of lake effect, but it's blowing west, away from our state. Now some of that will shift back south a bit as we head through the evening and into the overnight hours. But as we head into tomorrow morning and through much of the day tomorrow, that lake effect pretty much almost entirely dissipates. And it continues to be gone through Saturday, or into Saturday evening, and through Sunday night, or into Sunday morning. Gosh. However, something to note is even though it is going to be calm Saturday afternoon, into Saturday night, and into Sunday morning, you can see some snow starting to build off to our northwest, right around the Wisconsin-Minnesota border up here. So that is likely associated with that next system that is going to be moving towards our area and potentially impacting us Sunday night into Monday. Now, another thing is it does appear that, in fact, the system the very intense low pressure system that we were seeing off the coast will keep most of its precipitation off the coast. I'm sure the northeastern states are very thankful for that after having just gotten dumped on. Again, at this time, it does look like this nor'easter will keep the vast majority of its precipitation off the coast. And now finally, we will take a look at our cloud cover map. Again, it is very clear here at the moment, and it should remain that way for at least into the evening. Clouds will move in as we head into the late evening and into the overnight hours. But as we head into tomorrow morning, this is 7 a.m. here, they will again start to dissipate. There are still some heavier clouds in some areas. It looks like over our area there are still some heavier clouds, but even then that is still looking like around 70% cloud cover, so there still will be some openings. Here it gets a little heavier, closer to 80, 90%, but that doesn't last long. As we head into towards 7 p.m., it clears out again. Overnight, clear. As we head into Sunday morning, clear. So while there may be some clouds tomorrow, or there may be some clouds tonight and at port at times during tomorrow, for the most part, skies look like they will be clear today, tomorrow, and especially Sunday. That's all I have for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.